Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're doing okay. So I just want to firstly start by apologising for the length I feel like I'm taking to upload all of these segments and like catch up about what has happened in these past like 1 to 2 years. But I just kind of wanted to jump on really quickly before I did this vlog with you, just to basically just explain and apologise for the length it's taken. The reason why I feel like it's taken quite a long time to upload this one is because I'm up to the point of November 2023 where we was going to America. So just kind of wanted to give you like a little backstory just really quickly before I kind of go into the actual vlog itself. I've already explained in my previous vlogs, if you've not already kind of watched the catch up, I would advise you to do that because these vlogs might not make much sense. But it's just been a really difficult vlog to put together. Obviously my dad is in a lot of this footage, going back through all of these memories and the fact that it wasn't even that long ago and how well he was and then he wasn't, like it's been quite difficult to watch and put together, but at the same time it's been so nice to hear his voice. Like grief is a weird thing, but that's probably one of the reasons why I feel like it's taken me a little bit longer, just because it's been quite hard to actually get through this footage. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of a backstory to kind of make you understand these vlogs a little bit. So back in October 2023, we kind of was like, my dad was on a clinical trial, everything was going okay. Honestly, probably about 2.5 weeks before we actually went to America, I remember, because it was on the day that I was actually seeing Salford for my intestinal failure. Me and mum had gone there and we'd got back and my dad just said, I need to speak to you, because he had a phone call from his clinical trial that day, because he'd had every like 6 to 8 weeks they basically had like bloods and tests done and things like that and scans, and they basically just said to him that the trial stopped working. Your cancer has like grown and exceeded, it's not working anymore and you no longer fit into the category. I can't remember the exact figure because, to be honest with you, that whole entire time and that conversation feels like such a blur, but I feel like it had grown by like 20%, like all of a sudden out of nowhere. So they basically, it still wasn't all doom and gloom, you know. They said that there's still other things that we can do to give you more time, you know, we can do immunotherapy, blah blah blah, so let's keep you on the trial until the end of the cycle, because it kind of went in like cycles, and then after, you know, you finish your cycle, then we'll get you on the immunotherapy. So we're a very positive family. Even though that conversation was horrible, we still never imagined what happened the way it did. So basically, you know, obviously it was sad and we kind of like, it was a bit of reality hitting us, but we were still okay, everything was gonna be fine. My dad still looked great, he was still really well. So on the 10th or 11th of November, we headed to America. So it was a trip that we had been planning for such a long time. We kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it back, and like with November time, we was like, no, we are going. So me, mum, James, Rob and dad all went on a trip to America. So it was honestly, little did I know before we set off how special that trip will truly be. But I do feel like my America vlog, I was so set on, you know, this, I'm going to get back into vlogging. I think I'd even put an Instagram post on and I was like, you know, I'm really going to get back into things. But it almost seemed as like the second we landed, it literally seemed like my dad got cancer. Like, I can't even explain it to you. It just became unwell all of a sudden. And I do remember the doctor telling us in the first initial conversation that with liver cancer, where it was that you will just all of a sudden start to go unwell, like once you become yellow, you've got weeks, etc. And I actually remember being in the airport before we set off, and I remember looking at my dad and wondering, like, does he look a little bit discoloured? But I wasn't sure if it was a lighting or not. Obviously it was, but it just came out of nowhere. So when we was in America, he did become very unwell. Not so unwell that he needed to come home, because we did keep saying to him, you know, I think we should go home, but he was having none of it. He wanted to go on the roller coasters, he wanted to like have a best time ever. So this trip wasn't as doom and gloom as you think, but it was still hard to vlog as much as I wanted to, because I kind of just knew deep down the way this was going. So yeah, sorry that was like a quick, brief but long explanation, but basically that's why it's taken so long for me to upload this, just because obviously rewatching the videos, it's been, like I said, it's been really difficult but also equally so nice, because just little conversations that I've had with him, like I would never have got that normally, and even for example, like when I'm doing like time lapses and I put my camera, you know, on the table while I'm doing something, or like putting my TPN away, obviously I normally put music over it on YouTube, but on my actual like SD card I've got a full-blown conversation between me and my dad. Like I would never have that if it wasn't for filming, so I feel very, very grateful that I've got these and I've listened to them so much, and it's been so nice to be able to do that. But yeah, so I hope that all makes sense. Like I said, the next vlogs you're going to see is being in America. There's still a lot that I need to catch you up on, but I do feel like we're nearly there, back into real time, because I have so much to tell you. But yeah, so I hope you enjoy this vlog, and I will get the next one on as soon as possible. I've already started editing it, and I feel like now I've got this first one out of the way, it's a bit easier. So I hope you enjoy, and we will catch up soon. Bye.
Never up, never down, never. Like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I always do.
My note did well.
It's all A, and now just Kirsty's putting easy wheelies.
Rob, do you think they read my note?
Kirsty, listen.
I had a feeling you'd come back and save me from all those lonely nights and heartbreaks. And I feel misplaced without you. Why don't we go back to, why don't we go back to, never wanted to end it like we did. I guess shit happens for a reason.
Guys, we are in America. I kid you not, this has been quite a stressful journey. I feel like every single bit that I was hoping we wouldn't be delayed at, we have been delayed at. We were delayed 3 hours taking off. We couldn't even land when we were supposed to land. Took us ages to check us in my TPN. They was really confused about it. And then when we've got even back here, the baggage thing broke, so we've been waiting ages for our luggage. And then when we finally got here, they then had to inspect all my TPN and take my mum off and ask her what it was and da. But we're here, finally. Just packing the car. How's your day been so far?
I'm very tired.
But right now it's about 7 or 8ish in American time.
It is 5 to 8.
Yeah, my TPN has only actually got another about 4 hours.
Yeah, so technically we are, well, we're 5 hours behind. So it's 1 AM at home.
Yeah. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 4.5 hours until my TPN in the cool boxes will have like expired, because it's supposed to stay cool for 24 hours. This is how long we've been up for, and how like I'll fill you in properly when we're actually settled down. But this is the car we're getting. All the cases are just trying to figure out if we can fit actually everything in it. Just another delay. We can't get all the TPN and the cases in the car, so we're having to change cars to an even bigger one.
Go back to, why don't we You're better.
So I've just opened up one of the boxes just before I put them in the TPN. So this is what it looks like inside. I think I've showed you before, but basically you have these two really huge brick blocks and you can fit normally 2 bags of that in it. About 3 hours away now from when this would run out of time. This is a fridge here. It's got everything in. It's a separate fridge. The family fridge, from what I can see, is over there. But because this has to go in a separate fridge, and obviously there's so much of it, basically we had to send the money to the owners of this accommodation beforehand, and they went out and bought the fridge for us. So we've had to pay for this fridge to, you know, basically be here. And then obviously we're not going to be able to take the fridge home with us. So yeah. Good morning, everyone. So we have woken up on the first day here in America. Just thought I'd give you a brief rundown of what happened yesterday. So everything was fine in regards to my TPN. We pre-booked it on the airline. I spoke to the airline and I had a medical bag. Everything was fine. Spoke to the airline. I even confirmed with them the night before. I spoke to them on the phone. So got to the airport, went straight to special assistance, and we just basically said, look, we've got 8 boxes of TPN. We need to take them through security into the plane. Now, most people I spoke to with TPN, some people are similar to me and have took them on the plane with them or took them to the bottom to see them get on the plane. Other people have just let them go on the conveyor belt and make their way to the plane. But because obviously due to my potassium issues and due to the fact that I was very nervous and anxious, and I don't like the fact that they're refrigerated, and if somebody opens them to check what's inside them, if they don't seal it properly, the TPN's no good anymore, and I'm so reliant on them that I couldn't risk the fact of arriving in America and not having the TPN to use, or it was damaged or anything like that. Like, that would have just been a disaster. So we basically wanted to take them all through security with us. And then when we got to the bottom of the plane, we was going to give them, similar to how you give your wheelchairs in or prams or whatever. So I wanted to have them at the bottom of the plane and then give them to the flight to put on. So I know they're on that flight. So we spoke to the airline. They confirmed that it's absolutely no problem. Yeah, I completely understand. We can do that. Got to check in. I want to take it, probably took us about an hour and a half to check our bags in. I'm not joking. They took forever to decide how many tags to put on my wheelchair for some reason. By the time we got through security. Security took forever to get through. Obviously, I'm taking loads of liquid through security. Now, I've done this before going through Spain with the letters are normally really great, and they was really great. This was probably the fastest they could possibly have gone, but it was just busy, so it took extra long. But it wasn't actually to do with the TPN, why it took so long. It was just so busy. But they were so good. They didn't even open the boxes. They put them through the scanners, obviously, but they just, swabbed them, did all they needed to. Got through there, got through to the, airport. And I was so excited to go to, Terminal 2, really big airport, loads of shops, have a great time. And we had, 10 or 15 minutes. Flight boarded. We got to the flight, delayed for 3 hours because of technical problems. So we just sat on the tarmac for 3 hours. Flight was fine, 9.5 hours. Then it was literally seconds away from landing. The plane takes off again because all of a sudden it started lashing it down with rain. It weren't safe for them to land, so I was in the air for a little bit. Then they decided to land, fine, got there. Special assistants met us at the flight, but they decided to leave my wheelchair in the rain for absolutely ages, so it was literally dripping wet. It was so bad. Baggage belt broke, so we was there for about an hour to an hour and a half trying to get our luggage. Finally everything came, got to customs, and then it took ages to get through customs, and Mum had to go off in another room reading the notes, and then they was looking at all of the ingredients on them. My mum said they was really nice with it. It's just obviously they have to know what it is, you have to know what you're bringing into the country. They was looking at all, it was very, very thorough, she said, but they was really fine with it. And then after a while of looking at them, and they just said what it was. They just said, yeah, it's no problem, there's nothing that concerns us or interests us in them. So yeah, you're free to go through, blah, blah. So finally got in the car, had to put everything in there. We had 5 suitcases, 3 hand luggage suitcases, 8 boxes of TPN and a wheelchair. The one that my mum had rented, we'd tried to put it from the boot. It wasn't big enough, couldn't fit everything in. So they was just like, if you want a bigger one, it's fine, no problem. You can have a bigger one. So I'm not joking, our car is huge. I'll show you a video of it. But finally got to the villa. By the time we got here, I want to say we had about 2 hours left of the 2 or 3 hours left of the cool boxes. My TPN being in there before like the deadline ran out of the 24 hours. So I honestly couldn't tell you what we would do, but it's fine because it didn't happen. I just kept saying it's fine. We will deal with everything as it comes. Like, let's just remain calm. We need to have the most great, amazing, no stress trip. I was like, it'll be fine. We'll figure it out. But it's a new day. I think I just explained a tiny little bit last night that we had asked the accommodation to, they didn't have an extra fridge for my TPN, so we'd contacted them prior and said we need an extra fridge, and he said, look, I'm really sorry we don't have one, but let us know what we can do to help. So we basically sent them money, told them what fridge to go and buy, they bought it and set it up on our arrival, so it was already cold when we got here, so that was really great. I'm probably just gonna put my like getting to America vlog in one vlog, just because I kind of feel like I don't want every vlog to be really long, and I just kind of want to show you all the ins and outs of it. But I was hoping to record so much more in the airport than I did, but it was quite stressful, I'll be honest with you, so I didn't tend to record that much. But we're here, everything's fine, and I want to just prove to you all that if you want to go away, you can. Please don't just let things stop you from going away. And don't get me wrong, it's not been the easiest trip. I don't want to let anything put you off, but we're still here and everything was still fine. If you come across an issue, you deal with it then. You know, flying to Europe is much easier. Like, now I've been to Spain, I literally feel like that was so easy compared to this. But again, we're here, everything's fine. So I've woken up today, my TPN has got a few hours left, but we've woken up and I haven't unpacked anything. I'm probably going to do it later, but we want to go to Magic Kingdom today, so we're going to get a mobility scooter for the rest of my trip. I am going to show you that soon, so stay tuned. And yeah, we're going to have a great trip, guys. Great.
I had a feeling you'd come back and save me